Jane Goodall. I'm sending this message to congratulate you, the Globe community, on your 30 years of impressive successes. It's really wonderful to know that so many of you are gathering this week from 86 countries across the world. Ever since I learned about Globe, I've been impressed and inspired by your enthusiasm and commitment to science and learning. I know that for 30 years, Globe has been collecting and analyzing Earth science data, and this is helping us to understand more about our planet. It educates communities, young and old alike, as well as influencing policies around the world. I think all children are born with an innate curiosity, a desire to learn about the world around them. From a very early age, I was fascinated by animals, and I was lucky that I had a really supportive mother. She told me that from the start, I had the making of a little scientist. I was only 1.5, she tells me, when she came to say goodnight and found I'd taken a lot of earthworms, and the earth as well, into my bed. Instead of reprimanding me for messing up my bed, she helped me to relocate them into the garden, saying they would die if I didn't take them back. Much later, she told me she was absolutely sure that I was wondering, how could they move without legs? She said I was watching them so intently. You know, I believe it's really important for a child to have supportive parents, or at least some supporting adults. If my mother had got angry about my fascination for worms and other creatures, I might not have gone on to follow my passion, to go to Africa, live with wild animals, and write books about them. No thought of being a scientist back then, 80 years ago. And as most of you know, this led me spending years studying chimpanzees in Tanzania, and then working to protect their forest habitat. I hadn't even been to college when I began in 1960, and although I eventually got a PhD, despite never going to do undergraduate work, I still feel more of a naturalist than a scientist. When we began to train local Tanzanian field staff to follow and observe chimpanzees, their curiosity about the individual chimpanzees, their personalities, their behavior, ensured that the information they recorded was pretty accurate. And when they were provided with GIS and GPS technology to map the chimps' range and travel routes, their data collection was even more impressive. Subsequently, as we moved from only studying chimp behavior to protecting the habitats of chimpanzees outside the national park, I realized that the villagers were cutting down the trees in their village forest reserves simply to survive, to make money from charcoal or timber, or space to grow more food. Clearly, I thought, it was desperately important they found ways of making a living without destroying their environment. So began Takari, JGI's method of true community-led conservation. Next, individuals from villages with forest reserves, and these are plentiful along the coast of Lake Tanganyika. Individuals were selected to become forest monitors. They learned to use mobile phones to monitor the health of their forests, noting illegal activities and the presence or absence of different animal species. In other words, they became citizen scientists. They're passionate about this work, and because of this, it's led to the protection and sometimes restoration of their village forest reserves. One of the most important programs of JGI is Roots and Shoots. This is for young people of all ages, now in 75 countries and growing. These young people are, among other things, encouraged to observe the conditions in their own communities and use this information to choose projects that will benefit the people, the animals, and the environment there. But before I end, let me thank the Globe community once again for making such a difference in so many communities in your own countries. And I wish you another 30 years of continued success. Thank you. Goodbye from me.